Hi, this is Chef Skip. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 17, Poultry. Probably the most versatile protein we use in food service is chicken. Just about any cooking technique can be used to prepare chicken. U.S. poultry inspection and quality grades: chicken, turkey, duck, geese, guinea fowl, and pigeon. And the products inspected and graded are whole poultry, poultry roast, poultry tenderloins, and poultry parts. Inspections and grades of poultry. Inspection stamp for wholesomeness, which means it's edible, and grade A, B, or C. Inspection stamp guidelines. It should be good structure and shape, free of deformity, flesh, fat covering, defeathering, discolorations, signs of broken or disjointed bones, or freezing defects. Inspection stamp guidelines for boneless poultry roasts. They should be free of bones, cartilage, tendons, visible bruises, and blood clots. The tenderloin from a boneless poultry breast. The tendon should not extend more than 1 inch beyond the meat tissue. Use grade A poultry as is, meaning cook the bird and its parts and consume them in their entirety without processing. Use grade B and grade C poultry in processed products where the poultry meat is cut up, chopped, or ground. Products sold at retail are usually not grade identified. Although all poultry must be inspected, no grade standards exist for some poultry parts, such as the neck, wingtips, tail, and giblets, which includes the heart, liver, and gizzard. Within the grade levels, select poultry by class. The class of poultry is defined mostly by the age and gender of the bird. A bird's age generally affects the tenderness, look, and feel of the bird. It also affects the cooking methods necessary to obtain maximum flavor quality. Older birds are less tender than their younger counterparts and are best prepared using moist heat cooking methods, such as stewing and braising. More tender younger birds are suitable for all cooking methods, including barbecuing and frying. The two distinct differences in poultry forms are white meat and dark meat. Each type of meat holds different nutritional values. Bird types. The bird, chicken, white and dark meat. Description: young chicken, rock Cornish game hen, broiler, fryer, roaster, capon, mature chicken, hen, fowl, baking chicken, stewing chicken. The bird, turkey, white and dark meat. Descriptions: a young turkey is fryer, roaster, young hen, or young tom. A yearling turkey is a mature or an old turkey. The bird, a duck, dark meat only. Descriptions: a young duck is a duckling, young duckling, broiler duckling, fryer duckling, or roaster duckling. An old duck is mature. The bird, a quail, dark meat only. Descriptions: New World and Old World varieties, both edible young birds. White meat is from the areas of the fowl or bird where little muscle use takes place. An example is the breast. As a result, white meat is low in calories and fat content. White meat also cooks faster, which can result in a drier product if the chef is not careful. White meat can be both grilled and sautéed. When roasting poultry, add fat under or over the skin of the white meat, or baste it in stock, melted butter to help retain the moistness. Dark meat, on the other hand, is from the areas where the bird's muscles are used more heavily, such as the leg and thigh region. Dark meat is higher in calories and fat. Dark meat also tends to be richer, more flavorful meat. It requires more time to cook, and dark meat can be cooked with either dry heat or moist heat methods, depending on the amount of tendon and fiber in these parts. For example, chefs may grill or sauté the thighs, whereas the drumstick lends itself to braising or roasting. Domestic poultry is readily available and less costly than most other meat. A recent change in the market is the greater availability of free-range poultry, which is birds raised in large yards and given lots of space to roam and get exercise. The meat is darker in color than the other poultry and is slightly different flavor and texture. New interests also exist in game birds such as partridge, pheasant, squab, duck, goose, and quail. Many game birds are now raised on farms year-round in conditions similar to those for free-range poultry. These birds are in their best form from October to December or January. In general, game birds have a stronger, more distinctive taste. Take the first basic step in purchasing poultry by deciding on the type and quality of product that are needed for a particular menu item. In other words, the intended use of the poultry. Restaurant and food service operations usually use U.S. Grade A quality poultry. Received birds should have soft, smooth, pliable skin. The breastbone cartilage should be flexible, and the flesh should be tender. Many of the guidelines for poultry receiving are similar to those used for meat receiving. Form. The operation determines whether dark meat or white meat is preferable, depending on its particular needs, and makes purchases accordingly. Freshness. As with meat products, high-quality frozen poultry does not look different from fresh poultry product. Any quality loss, such as through freezer burn, is usually due to improper handling, and reject these products upon delivery. Cost. As with meat purchases, in-house fabrication, or the process of butchering or cutting an animal into usable portions, is a way to reduce costs. Operations often choose to fabricate poultry because birds are smaller in size and easy to butcher. The more fabricating an operation does itself, the better the quality and the better the price. Also, the trim can be used for stocks, soups, sauces, hors d'oeuvres, and force meat. Fresh poultry should be delivered at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Frozen poultry should be received solidly frozen. Criteria for accepting and rejecting poultry. Characteristic: color. Accept if there is no discoloration. Reject if there's purple or green discoloration around the neck or dark wingtips. Characteristic: texture. Accept if there's firm flesh that springs back when touched. Reject if stickiness under the wings and around the joints. Characteristic: odor. Accept if there's no odor. Reject abnormal or unpleasant odor. Characteristic: packaging. Accept if the packaging is clean and intact. Reject if the broken cartons, dirty wrappers, torn packaging, vacuum packaging with a broken seal. Characteristic: frozen items. Accept if the items are frozen solid with no signs of frost, ice, or leakage. Reject if there are signs of frost, ice, or leakage of the package. Store fresh, raw poultry at an internal temperature of 41 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Store frozen poultry at a temperature that keeps it frozen. If poultry has been removed from its original packaging, place it in airtight containers or wrap it in airtight material. Remember to store poultry below ready-to-eat food if they are both stored in the same cooler. Whether whole or ground, raw poultry should be stored below all other ingredients. And finally, be sure to follow FIFO, or first in, first out inventory. Breaking down poultry into pieces is a useful technique. Poultry fabrication includes disjointing, boning, or separating meat from the bones, and cutting a bird into pieces. Fabricating poultry is relatively simple because poultry bones are small and easy to cut through. Essential tools include a clean work surface, boning knife, and a chef's knife. Knowing how to disjoint and bone chicken breast is also an important part of fabricating poultry. Of course, not all birds are fabricated or cut into smaller pieces. Larger birds are often roasted whole. Fabricating boneless chicken breasts. 1. Cut along the sides of the breastbone, also called the keel bone. Follow the line of the bone. Use thumb or knife to separate breast from the ribs. 2. Pull away meat as you cut. Leave tenderloins attached to the breast and separate the breast from the wing. The main reason poultry is such a versatile protein is that it can be cooked in many ways and fit in many different kinds of dishes. Poultry is especially suited for dry heat cooking techniques of grilling, broiling, roasting. When poultry is cooked, the flesh will have a slight amount of give and the juices will be colorless. However, the only true way to tell whether poultry is cooked thoroughly is to use a thermometer, reaching a temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The grill flavor and aroma should enhance the food, not overpower its natural flavor. One example of chicken prepared using this method is mesquite grilled chicken breasts. Roasting. Roasting has a longer cooking time. You should truss the bird first. Tie the legs and wings to the bird's body. Makes it cook evenly and keeps it moist. Before roasting, season, stuff, marinate, or bard the bird. Place on an elevated rack or in a roasting pan and roast uncovered. Dressing or stuffing is a mixture of breadcrumbs, herbs, and various other ingredients placed into the cavity of poultry before cooking. Bake dressing or stuffing for poultry separately for food safety. However, food preparers can safely stuff small birds like Cornish game hens and quail and serve them as single portions. Cook the stuffing in these birds to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Cutting a whole bird into pieces. The first step is to square up the bird by placing it on its back and pressing on the legs and breast to create a uniform appearance. Next, remove the leg and thigh from the body by cutting between the joints close to the bones in the back of the bird. Repeat this for the other side. Place the bird on its breast and cut through the skin straight down along either side of the backbone from tail to head. Cut the ribs that connect the backbone, removing the backbone. To cut the breast in two pieces, place the chicken skin side down and start at the wishbone and cut through, separating the breast into two halves. Bending the sides of the bird backwards beforehand will make it easier to cut. To separate the leg portion from the thigh, make a cut following the line of fat on the inside of the thigh. This is done with the skin side down by cutting through the joint. To separate the wings from the breast, pull each wing away from the body and cut inside each wing along the joint. You now have 2 wings, 2 breasts, 2 legs, 2 thighs. This is called an 8-way cut. Stuffing poultry. First, mix together all of the stuffing ingredients when cold. Stuff the raw bird as close to roasting time as possible. Stuff the neck and main body cavity loosely because the stuffing expands during cooking. After filling the cavity, secure the opening with skewers and butcher's twine by trussing. Take the temperature in the center of the stuffing after cooking, and then in the thickest part of the bird. The temperature of the stuffing and the bird should reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. After cooking, remove the stuffing from the bird and store separately. Trussing a chicken. Place the chicken on its back with legs facing towards you in a baking dish or on a cutting board. Grasp the chicken's wings and tuck them behind the chicken's back. Use a few feet of cooking twine and place it under the back of the chicken between the wings and the thighs. Pull both ends of the twine under the chicken's armpits, then pull them over the wings. Bring the ends of the twine back towards you, running them along the side of the breast and above the wings and thighs. Pulling tightly across the ends of the twine. Loop the ends of the twine under the legs, then over the top of the legs. Cross and tighten. Trussing a chicken ensures that we have a uniform shape, it maintains its moistness, and it cooks evenly. Dry heat cooking with fat and oil. Sautéing, stir frying, pan frying, deep frying. Use tender, portion-sized pieces of meat. Deep frying, we can use breaded or batter coated, or boiled in hot fat or oil. Moist heat cooking. Steaming is a healthy method with no fat. Simmering, rich, flavorful broth. Combination cooking. Chicken is a natural ingredient for the combination cooking methods of stewing and braising. These two methods produce dishes with exceptional sauces and flavor concentrations. In addition, these are very healthy choices because they do not incorporate extra fat into the cooking process. Mole poblano, a popular Mexican sauce, is used to make chicken moulet. This is one example of poultry prepared using combination cooking. Cooking poultry. The type of poultry, chicken. Class and possible cooking methods. Game hen, we can use dry heat, broil, grill, or roast. Broiler, fryer, any cooking method. A roaster, we can use any cooking method. A duck. A broiler duck or fryer duck, we can use dry heat methods for roasting. A roaster, we can use dry heat methods. And a mature duck, we want to use combination or braise. Goose. A young goose, we can dry heat method like roasting. A mature, we want to use combination like braising or stewing. A turkey. A fry roaster, we can dry heat or roast, or dry heat with fat oil like saute, or even deep fat frying has become popular with turkeys. A young turkey is dry heat, roast, or combination stew. Mature, always combination. We want to get that tough turkey tender.